from the Energy Boutique with your energy forecast for Wednesday, February 23rd. So today we do have the moon moving out of Scorpio. That's a sigh of relief for a lot of people. And we are moving into Sagittarius. The moon will be void of course at 4:24 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, and we'll be locking into Sag energy around 8:30 a.m. Again, Eastern Standard Time. So we are going to feel this shift. We're coming out of the dark depths of our psyche, of our heart space. We've been very probing, very detective-like, trying to peel back the layers of understanding with the moon in Scorpio. And typically speaking, when we move out of Scorpio waters into the fiery energy of Sag, it definitely is the light at the end of the tunnel. We are more open-minded. We become a little bit more positive, more optimistic. We are seeing the bigger, greater, grander picture. And we are definitely on a brand new quest for adventure. We're pushing our belief system. We're pushing our spiritual understanding. It is definitely a positive shift coming out of the deep, dark waters of Scorpio. So today we have 10 different aspects taking place. 8 of them involve the moon. We are building towards the last quarter moon in Sag at 5 degrees, 17 minutes. So what do we know about this? Well, we're just coming out of this 22222 portal. This is the very first day that portal would have closed shut. Now we're trying to find stability. We're trying to find grounding. Things are typically going to slow down just a tad, although still feeling very dreamy and euphoric, in order for us to gain a little bit of balance, gain a little bit of stability. So we are going to have a little bit of an adjustment period, especially early morning. We are typically likely going to feel an intense pressure. I'm going to say early evening-ish. The aspects that don't involve the moon are pretty powerful as well. So we are going to feel that intensity rise. We are going to feel that energy build. And we are going to feel a shift in our mental plane and in our heart space, and hopefully in our physical bodies as well. So right out of the gate, we do have the moon, while still in Scorpio energy, making a little bit of a tension point with Chiron, the wounded healer. So as I've been saying, when the moon is in Scorpio, we're in detective mode. We're trying to, go into our psyche, go into our heart space, and kind of find a deeper meaning, a deeper purpose for some of the things that have transpired. We're peeling back the layers of our subconscious self. And this particular aspect is definitely going to make us more aware on what it is that is currently asking for our attention, what it is that needs healing the most. And because we are in this really strange, weird time to be alive, it might be confusing to put our finger on what actual wound is the biggest at this particular point in time, and what it is that we're being asked to heal. Now, the moon is going to oppose the true node, and this is putting us at odds with what it is that we want, need, and desire as far as a future plan goes. We've had some kind of revelation, some darker thoughts, some darker emotions pop up that's kind of deterring us from taking action. Although we feel like we want to make a move, the plan isn't quite put together right now. That true node is our destiny point. It's where it is that we want to be, where it is we need to be in order to kind of feel our soul's purpose, our soul's mission. But right now we're kind of at odds with what that even is going to look like. And many of our personal relationships are deteriorating, because again, we have this Venus and Mars conjunction, really collapsing old relationships that aren't strong enough to kind of stand the test of time, and creating a space for our soul family members to actually be able to find us. So we are kind of at odds with what it is that we want, need, and desire emotionally, and what that actually looks like in putting a plan in place, a strategic and logic plan put in place for us to follow. We are going to get a little bit of help though, because the moon, while still in Scorpio, make 2 very positive aspects before going void of course. The very first one is with Mercury really helping us to get our mental plane back on track, helping us to get a vision, helping us to think outside of the box, helping us to get our heart and our head on the same page. And just as we do that, the moon is going to sextile Pluto, who of course rules over the Scorpio energy. And this is a positive shift, a positive perspective, a positive energy that we are in this conscious moment saying, hey, Okay, I've sat in the darkness, I've gone through the psyche, I've gone through the heart space, I've had these realizations. Let's shift our perspective into the future. Let's shift our heart space into the present moment instead of allowing past situations, old memories have that great of effect on us. So there is this transformative energy where we are kind of stepping up into a new placement of power because of the understanding that we have come to because of our heart and head trying to get on the same page. At this particular point, though, that is when the moon goes void of course. And I'll tell you, even though we lock into Sag energy very early on in the day, we actually go like several hours without any kind of aspects. It's going to feel kind of chaotic, maybe even semi-manic, from about 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time to, let's say, 2 p.m., for example. That particular area of the day is going to feel kind of shaky. We're going to feel revved up. We're going to feel fired up. We're going to want to take action, which I discourage because it is not a time of action, but that's still the energy that is building. And then shortly after 2 p.m., we have Mars sextiling Neptune. Now, Mars rules over our physical energy, our drive, our passion, our will, our desires, even our anger. And this Neptune energy, very dreamy, very intuitive, wants to tap into our creativity. And this particular aspect is kind of triggering us to crave a brand new idea, brand new inspiration. It is going to help us to kind of soften our edges a little bit. If we are in a state of experiencing frustration and anger, we are going to kind of be chilled out a little bit. We're going to be a little bit more mellow. And it is a good energy because eventually we will kind of gain a little bit more perspective on what it is that we actually desire, what is inspiring us to make these changes, where it is that maybe the frustration and the anger is showing us what absolutely has to change. And in doing so, we align with our higher selves. Our intuition comes in strong and paints a very beautiful dream and picture for us to really be inspired to pursue. We get a little bit of attention, though, very shortly after this particular energy takes place because Jupiter is going to semi-square Pluto. So here's the thing. This is a tension point. Jupiter, of course, wants us to grow. He wants us to expand. He wants us to look at the silver linings. He is trying to shape our beliefs. He is trying to push us more into leaning into our higher selves, the spiritual realm, than relying on the ego. And this Plutonian energy is transformation at its best. So it's almost like this earlier energy of getting a new download, getting a new inspiration, getting a new idea or dream. It kind of creates a little bit of a cluster F in us because we've shifted our thoughts, we've shifted our feelings, and now it's kind of like we believe in something that we don't know if it's true. We don't know if we can manifest it. We are definitely trying to adjust our attitude because we want to be hopeful. We want to be positive. We want to actually believe that this new dream, this new inspiration is going to manifest in our physical realms. But there's a lot of hesitation there too. So we are going to get this little bit of uncertainty. And then, of course, things get even more amplified because the moon goes ahead and squares the sun, giving us our last quarter moon in Sag. And typically speaking, the last quarter moon provides us with a little bit of a crisis point. We become aware, we're having realizations, we know where we have to shift our energy, we know what it is that now we're passionate about and pursuing, but it usually arises through frustration and tension of not wanting to do certain things anymore, not wanting to deal with certain topics, not wanting to experience certain thoughts and feelings anymore. So this is a time where we really crave change. We really crave action, but it's not time to take action. It's not time to start something new. It's time to finish old things up. It's time to close the door on old things that we know we want to move away from, preparing a solid, clean slate for us to actually initiate new things when the new moon in Pisces hits later next week. So the moon goes ahead and bumps into Saturn in a positive way, but then bumps into Venus in a not so good way. So what does this tell us? Well, it tells us that, yep, we're fired up. We're thinking futuristically. We have a brand new attitude. We have a brand new visual. We're trying to be hopeful. We're trying to be optimistic. Saturn is showing us where it is that we got to boss up emotionally, where it is that we have to see where our roles and responsibilities are now, inspiring us to change things up, to build a brand new structure and foundation in our lives, to kind of make things a little bit more interesting, to create a little bit more adventure. But then when the moon bumps into Venus, it's like, oh Lord, I don't know if I'm ready for this. Like emotionally, I feel like I'm all charged up. I don't know that I'm supposed to take action, because technically we're not. Venus, of course, is the goddess of love and beauty and pleasure, and she's very uncertain of what's going on right now. She knows, because of her retrograde that she just came out of and she's still trying to kind of shake off of, that there's a major change inside of her. But seeing the major changes take place outside of her is a little bit difficult. We know we have to do it. We're just not ready to pull the trigger yet. And again, that energy, that intensity of wanting to take action, wanting to make a major change is really pushing us in the wrong direction, because we're not supposed to be initiating steps forward. We're supposed to be initiating steps to clean up the past. Lastly, of course, the moon is going to semi-square Mars as well, because Mars and Venus are so close together in the cosmos right now that, of course, if you bump into Venus, Mars is surely soon to follow. So this particular energy is fire on fire, and we're a little bit feisty, we're a little bit impatient, and let me tell you, if you act out of sorts without thinking about the consequences, you are going to make a little bit of a mess for yourself. Right now, although we're gung-ho to take an action to move forward, we're not supposed to. Instead, what we should be doing is sitting in the present moment and using that energy to reconstruct what it is that we need to do as far as plans go. Yes, we need a brand new determination. Yes, we need to be fiery and excited. Yes, we need to be confident and optimistic that we're going to be able to manifest the vision and the dreams that we want. But if you act in haste, you will create a roadblock, a blockage, a huge checkpoint that you don't need in your path in trying to initiate a brand new reality. So this is my warning to you. You are going to feel fired up. You are going to want to take action, initiate change. Please resist the energy to do so. If you need to exert yourself in the physical sense, please go back, clean up your environment, address some of the issues that you no longer want to deal with. Focus on wrapping things up to prepare yourself for a clean slate, a supportive slate, to go ahead and initiate the new plans, the new dreams, the new goals under the new moon in Pisces later on next week.